Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I just kind of wanted to come on and show you my one little word journal. This is what I'm keeping for one little word. I'm taking Allie's class this year. I didn't take it last year. I did take it the year before and the year before that. But yeah, I don't know. I started this year off kind of sort of knowing what my word was going to be, but not really. And I don't know, I felt like I needed to take one little word. It was a very weird feeling. I knew that I wanted to take it. I knew kind of the theme of my year that I wanted to, explore. I wasn't 100% solid on my word. But yeah, so I signed up for it when she puts it on sale at the end of December, and I knew that I wanted to use this planner. So if it looks familiar, this is my Kelly Ray Roberts planner. It's the spiral planner, and I kind of de-spiraled it and made it into a binder. So this is I think this is like a personal ring binder mechanism, but the pages here are pretty much B6, so like 5x7. And I was really inspired by my Water Your Soul binder, which is what I kept for Liz's class, Water Your Soul, I think like 2 years ago. I don't think I actually ever did a flip through of that binder, but I loved that. I love that feel. I thought about doing one little word in one of my little journals, my fabric journals like this, kind of how like I do my unfurling, my unraveling journals. But I don't know, I wanted to be able to put things in and take them out. And I really wanted to use the pages from this planner because the beginning pages of Kelly's planners have these like prompts. I'm just going to show you real quick if I can find one. They have, did I cover them up or no, they're over here. I just rearranged things. I'm going to flip through this in a second, but they have these prompts which are very one little wordy, and I wanted to use them. And so I decided to go with this. I was trying to figure out how to use the coil, and it was just too much to figure out. And I'm just like, you know what? I can just take it all apart. And then these two are just pieces of chipboard that I just had to build my own spine, covered it up with fabric and lace. And then I used, I had a spare personal size rings. You can get these on Amazon. They pretty much screw in. You can't see it over here because I covered the lace. I covered it with lace, but screwed in. And I mean, I have to like finagle it a little bit so that it lays flat, but I really like this. It's very scrappy. And this fabric matches this so well. The cover isn't really my colors, you know, I'm not much of a yellow person, especially mustard yellow, but this is so pretty. I love the butterfly, wild and free. I love that sentiment. My theme for the year is letting go. I don't know if I mentioned that. And my word that I ended up settling on is flow, which I think I have like it right here. Flow. It was just this. I kept finding myself in the and space of holding on and letting go last year, especially towards the end of it. And I innately knew that letting go was supposed to be my theme for the year. And then my friend came to visit the beginning of the year and we pulled some cards. I actually don't have a picture of that in here, but I do have it in my journal in here if I can find where I have it. No, that's not that one. We pulled some cards. Where is it? Like, how much further in is it? We pulled some cards, and this was my spread of the cards that we collectively pulled from each other. And like the theme of mine was all about letting go. Like literally the cards were speaking to me and they were just like, no, letting go that's your theme. You're right. And so I thought for a while to make release my word, and then I did Susanna Conway's Find Your Word, and the word that kept popping up for me a lot was flow. I like that idea of flowing like water. I know I'm into astrology now, and I follow an astrologer. Her name is Deborah Silverman. I think I mentioned her multiple times, but she has a book called The Missing Element, and it's all about finding the element that you are lacking. You know, each of us are made up of all four elements, but there's one element that is the most prominent, and then there's one that we're like lacking, like we don't even have it in our birth charts. And the element for me is water. I have one planet in water. Everything else is in fire and earth. And I have, my rising is a air sign. Actually, my Jupiter is also an air sign. I have some air in it in me as well, but I'm all fire and earth, and I have no water. And in order to be a balanced human being, we have to kind of exhibit characteristics of all the elements, right? And I, for a while, I can notice in myself that I am lacking the elements, the characteristics of water, which is being in tune with your emotions, but also like, water's healing. Like the water signs, they're all, for the most part, they're healers. They're very emotional signs, so that element is very emotional. But being water is very free flowing. The signs that are water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And if you know anything about those signs, you know that Pisces, like Scorpio, is all about kind of the unseen, right? It's the unseen, sort of the underworld. It's the ruling planet is Pluto. It's all about death and rebirth. Scorpio is kind of like mystic. Pisces is like the dreamer sign. Like they're very also kind of whimsical and spiritual in that sense. And Cancer is the healing sign. Cancers, they're healers, and all of these like signs are in tune with their emotions, and they all kind of, I guess, I don't want to use the word manipulate because that has sort of like a negative connotation to it, but they all manipulate emotions in different ways. They all like work with emotions and like handle emotions. And each sign has a good side to them and a bad side to them. So, I think I think there are common misconceptions of water signs, that they can be too watery, too emotional, especially Cancers. And while that's true, that's like the dark side of some of these signs. The light signs are the fact that they can harness their emotions in a good and positive way. And, they flow. Like these signs flow. They know how to flow. They know how to go with change. And they kind of ebb and flow like water does. And I have a hard time with that. I'm getting better at it. Like the moment that I realized that, which was like 2 years ago, I try to be mindful and conscious when I am pushing or when I'm pulling, because I'm an earth sign and I'm a fire sign. So there's a lot of push back. There's a lot of pushing in fire and that element, and there's a lot of pulling back with earth people. They're kind of grounded and sort of, they can be stuck in their ways, right? So I have a lot of push and pull. I don't have a lot of flow. And so that's something that I've been trying to cultivate in myself, and sort of be aware of my emotions and be okay to be emotional, because I have 4 planets in an earth sign, so I'm a bit more earth than fire. I have 3 planets in fire. So emotional, like earth signs, they don't tend to be emotional. It's very interesting when you learn about astrology, you learn about the signs, and you learn about the elements in which those signs kind of live in. And yeah, I have no water. I have 1 water. I have Pluto. Pluto's in Scorpio, which is its native sign. That's all I have, and that's like a generational trait with my generation. But that's all my water. And so I struggle a lot with that, with emotions, with expressing it and being okay to be emotional in front of another person. And because I'm really in tune, I think now, with my emotions, and I'm okay with crying, but reaching out when things get hard, that's kind of really tough for me, and flowing. And so I wanted to focus on that this year. Especially since my theme that I chose and the cards chose for me as well is letting go. And when I thought about letting go, I thought about releasing. I thought about surrender. But then I thought about how I wanted to feel. And I wanted to feel free. I wanted to feel free flowing. I didn't want to push, and I didn't want to pull, and I didn't want any resistance. And what's the opposite of resistance is flowing, just going with the flow. You know how they say that. And so flow kept coming out at me. So that's kind of my word. That's kind of my theme. That's just kind of what I'm doing here. And so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to flip through my January pages because they're done. I'm still working in February in here, but I just kind of wanted to share my journal and share my pages. And so I love this planner. It had this page here that said I blank, or this year I blank will embrace courage, nourish my soul, and then you can fill in the blank. So of course I put my name, and then I put learn to let go and flow, because that is my theme for this year. And what I did was, since all of this was coiled, I've been using scrap pieces of paper and like collaging them over those holes and then punching my own holes to fit this binder. And so this is going to be very scrappy, very, I'm kind of working with Kelly Ray Roberts' aesthetic, which is a little bit more vintage, a little bit more scrappy, mixed media-y. The colors are a little bit more subdued. They're not pastel-y like my normal color scheme, but it's so pretty, and I feel like it's a good change. This is a manifesto that she actually had in the planner, and I just kind of left it here. And I thought it was wonderful. Like, it says, from this day forward, I will trust my crazy ideas. I will soften like the moon. I will write more love letters to myself. I will cuddle longer with my people. I will say yes only if it's a heck yes. I will smile at myself when I look in the mirror. I will show up and do and make and love and rest in surprising ways. I will wander. I will be brave in all the sadness and brave in all the love. I will trust that everything is in perfect timing. I will pick more wildflowers and put them in all the pockets of my heart. I love that. I kind of left. So some pages of the planner I did leave intact, and some I altered in different ways. This is actually ripped out of Susanna Conway's book. This I know. I don't remember what year. It was like 3 years ago. My one little word unraveling journal was Susanna Conway's book. I bought an extra copy on eBay. I gutted it, and so I have all the pages, and I love the photography in that book. So I found this, and I'm like, that's cute. I mean, it's not quite flowing. These are birds that are flying free, but I just put my word here, flow. I was debating if I wanted this as the kind of cover page, and I still think I need to get like an image here that represents this, but for right now I just have it here. And then behind it I just covered it up, and I put a writing space here to put my reason why, and pretty much my reason why is what I just expressed about letting go and wanting to embody flow and being more like water, in that sense where I'm not pushing and pulling, I'm just being at peace and ebbing and flowing. And so that's that. And then I used the calendar pages that were in the planner. And so it says Hello January, and this represents January. And my whole idea for this was, I don't know what I was going to do with the calendar pages, but I'm keeping other journals that have calendar pages, and I don't want to multiply like all the things. I still want to do my artist dates. I'm sorry for the glare on this. I do want to do my artist dates. And last year, 2023 was when I started. That was my year of artist dates. And then last year was my year of courage. That was my word. But I did more artist dates. And like, I wanted to do even more this year because it gets me out of the house. I work remotely and I never leave my house. So I wanted to take myself out. And so I wanted to use a space for documenting events, artist dates, things that I go do for myself. And then as well as the one little word calls. And so I decided to kind of keep this as like kind of a more like a collage. I know Lydia from February and June does her collage calendars. That's I mean, I thought about doing something like that, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me just put in important things. Not pretty much, don't document every single day on the calendar, just the ones where you did some artist dates, or some hard things happen, or some conversations happen that were important, and treat it like that. And so I kind of got a little artsy, and I used all of my alpha stickers, and I used some stamping as well to just write out all the artist dates, as well as the one little word call. I wanted to document that as well, but these are all, these are different events that I did. These were important conversations that I had with people. Yeah, and then I really, really want to take a selfie of myself every month, and I figured that this calendar page is like the best place to put it. And so that's what I did here. And so that's kind of how the monthlies are going to go. Like, I just love seeing like what I got up to in the month. You know, it's really neat. I did archery, did a junk journal club. I did a one-day choir, which was really fun. I met up with some friends, my journaling classes here, had to let go of someone. So, you know, putting my word into practice. This 222 event, that's an interesting app that is, I think it's only in LA and New York right now, but it's very interesting. They're curated dinner parties with complete strangers, so it's very cool. So little things to get me out of my comfort zone, artist dates and stuff like that, that's what'll go in here. And then anything important, so like letting go of this person was very important. You know, it was a very important step in my personal journey, right? So that's what go in here. That's kind of how I use my Hobonichi. So I'll probably talk about this in a separate video, but I use my Hobonichi calendar in that same way, where I document any like astrology webinars, any like online events like that. I document all of my artist dates, and then I document like the astrological transits, but I also document important things like letting go of a person, hard conversations, saying goodbye to my dog, like all those things. And so I'm kind of repeating it here, but focusing more on the events, because artist dates are still a thing that I want to do, and my word. So like anything that I tick off on my bingo card would also appear on these pages as well. And then it's a place for the self-portraits. So these were just pages that were in the planner, and I just covered them up and used them because a lot of them still had lines and space to write, and I used it to fill out the prompts that Ali provides. So the year ahead prompts, this is you know, how is my word part of my life? What do I want more of? What am I fearing this coming year? And so I wrote about that here. These are my intentions. And so, you know how Ali like breaks it down: physical, emotional, spiritual, relationship, creative. I just kind of I collaged the top, printed out the prompts very smallly. I kind of transposed them to put it in this kind of font so it matches sort of. And then I just glued them here, and then I just did everything. I actually don't really remember what my intentions were. And normally I have a vague, you know, like, I think my guiding thing is my theme and my word, but some of my intentions here: physical, treat my body with kindness, go out more on nature walks, hikes. Oh yeah, I want to move my body pretty much. That's, you know, go on more walks, go on more hikes, be outside, ground myself in nature and in the world, and be more kind to myself physically. So that's physical. Emotional, I think I wrote here, the first thing I wrote was cry when I want and need to. I'm giving myself permission to cry, to honor all of my feelings, to let go what isn't in my control. That's thing. To be vulnerable and to be 100% authentic. I'm embracing that. I'm kind of weird in public spaces. I talk a lot. I say things I noticed that I'm trying to be more open. Like, if I'm having a bad day or if I'm going through stuff, I'm, going to express that, even to a complete stranger. And I have been doing that. And I've noticed that people feel more comfortable when you open yourself up and you kind of express like kind of hard things, or things like challenging things, or like just things that you're going through, instead of, when a person says, hey, how are you? And most people would just say, fine, I'm fine. Oh, everything's okay. How are you? And they don't really like elaborate on that. I've started, when someone says that to me, I've started saying, if I'm going through a hard thing, I would say, oh, I'm doing all right. I mean, there's some difficulty X, Y, and Z. I've been going through this, but this is how I'm dealing with it. This is how I'm learning from it. Like, I kind of elaborate more. And then I ask, how are you doing? And it gives them permission to also just kind of express where they are. And instead of just saying fine, good, or whatever. And I'm trying to be more consciously aware of that in myself, and to leave the space for someone else to do that as well for me. Like, for them to hear that from me, but then for them to know that, hey, it's okay to express what you're feeling right now to me, complete stranger, because I just opened myself up to expressing that to you. And it's been interesting conversations come out of that. I do that a lot at events. Like I share more, like I overshare almost, at events where I'm meeting new people. And so it's amazing how many people are kind of going through the same thing or similar things that you're going through at that time, and how much healing happens from those conversations, because you kind of can piggyback off of each other and pretty much teach each other, different ways to go through it. It's very interesting. So I want to embrace that. I want to be authentic this year. Like, I don't want to mask myself anymore. I'm weird. I know I'm weird. Sometimes I can be really weird in public, like in social situations, and it's okay. I can be awkward. Yeah, so I'm trying to do more of that. And I clump that in with being emotional, because that is, spiritual. I said I want to trust in God and the universe, that things are working out. Oh no, I wrote here, trusting God in the universe that they are working on my prayers, and is God, and what is waiting for me is better than anything I could imagine. Oh my God, I can't read my handwriting. But yes, just, there's things that I want, there's things that I desire, and I really want to trust in God and the universe that they're already working on those things, So that's spiritual. Relationships, I wanted to connect more with my friends. I want to meet new people. I want to be open and honest. I want to give love and be love, and I want to fall in love. And then creative, I wrote play. Cultivate more joy, make more art, make time to make more art, and to continue going on artist dates. So those are my intentions. And then this was the more, less, like, what do you want more of? What do you want less of? And I think for the most part, I want more love, friendship, and connection, and less being siloed and being silent and distant, less holding on to things, and more being open to receiving. So my mom shares this scripture a lot. And then the example from the scripture, I don't know how many of you are religious in that way. My mom is very religious, so she always shares this, but I love the illustration of it. God cannot give you anything if you don't give others, if that makes sense. So if you keep your fist clenched on whatever it is that you have, there's no way for God to put anything in your hand. But if you give and you kind of let go of things, your hand is open to receiving. And I love that. And so I kind of want more of that, less of the holding on and more of the receiving. More gratitude. I wrote a bunch of things here, pretty much that piggyback off of my intentions. This was a magazine image from a Victoria magazines that I really, really love. And this was a Young Pueblo quote. So I have the beginning of it here. They asked her, what does letting go mean? I just love this imagery. I don't know. It doesn't relate. I just love how it looks. And then the rest of the quote is, she answered, letting go does not mean erasing a memory or ignoring the past. It is when you are no longer reacting to the things that used to make you feel tense, and you are releasing the energy attached to certain thoughts. It takes self-awareness, intentional action, practice, and time. Letting go is the act of getting to know yourself so deeply that all delusions fall away. And I guess it's the poem Presence. And I put Young Pueblo down here. I love that. And so I had to put my quote there. Allie always says to get a quote. And then these are my words. So the actual planner had a page for my word of the year, which I thought was beautiful. Again, I collaged the spine of it so I can punch the holes, and I put flow in letters. And then I put here release, control, and let go, because they're all together. And then supporting words. These were words that kept coming up for me when I was going through Susanna Conway's Find Your Word, and just words that just kept popping out whenever I was going through the One Little Word Facebook group and just Instagram and all these things. Love, because I want to cultivate more love. wonder, because I always think about that Mary Oliver poem, Instructions for Living Life, I think it's called. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. That's all about awe and wonder. And I want more of that. I want to be more mindful of that. And then joy, because I wanted to cultivate more joy. And then this idea here of glimmers kept coming up. The word glimmer kept coming up for me in Instagram. And then a couple of women in the One Little Word group chose that as their word, and it just kept coming up everywhere. And I'm just like, I love this glimmer, because all of these supporting words are embodied in the word glimmers. I love that. So I made those my kind of supporting words. This is my main word, but these are also words that I kind of want to focus on. And this is where I started writing, responding to the prompts that were in the planner. So this is list all the ways you will prioritize following your joy this year, which is wonderful because joy is something that I want to cultivate. Going on artist dates, nurturing my inner child, getting creative, getting messy, being my most authentic self, loving on and connecting with my friends, looking for the glimmers, and experiencing new things. So those are ways that I hope will help me cultivate more joy. I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart. I love just the imagery and the quotes and stuff in this planner. So this was I don't know actually what was here. I think it was the year at a glance calendars here. I covered it up because I wanted to go, what I like to do with my words is I like to go in depth with what each of them means. So normally when I pick a word, that is my overarching theme for the year, and my supporting words support intentions that I have. So all those intentions that I made in the beginning, they all fall into one of these word categories. And so, letting go, releasing control, going with the flow, that is flow for me. My supporting words are love, joy, wonder. And I wrote here, love plus joy plus wonder equals glimmers, because it does. When you know the definition of glimmers, that's it. Glimmers, I said, glimmers are those moments in your day that make you feel joy, happiness, peace, or gratitude. Just love plus joy plus wonder equals glimmers. So for love, I wrote here that I wanted to cultivate more love in my life. I want to always lead with love. And then I wrote here, Andrea Gibson. I love Andrea Gibson. I love their poetry. There was a post that they posted, and so this is from that post. Andrea Gibson once said, if you want love and you feel like you lack love, if you want more love or you feel like you lack love, you have to be love. You have to give love. And then I wrote here, it seems counterintuitive, but I'm going to try it. So it was, I have it written in a journal, but it was a whole thing of if you want more of these things in your life, you have to do these things or be the opposite or something like that. And that was it for love specifically. If you want more love, or if you feel like you're lacking love, you have to give more love. You have to be love. So yeah, I want more love, friendship, and connection. So that's what love represents for me. It's about love, about falling in love. It's about connecting with my friends, all the things there, meeting new people and stuff like that. And then joy, I want to cultivate more joy from within myself. I want to return to my creativity and continue to play and expand through my solo artist dates. And then I wrote here, I'm taking a year of painting with Elena Hennessy. It's an online class that I signed up for. And I'm really hoping to take more time off this year to travel, because travel brings me joy. When I always say that I'm most happiest in my life when I am traveling abroad somewhere. So that's joy. Those are the intentions under joy. And then for wonder, I want to experience more awe and wonder this year. I want life to be magical. I want to be mindful of noticing all of the beautiful little things in my life and be grateful for them. I want to experience the excitement again in doing things, like that feeling of excitement when you do something for the first time. I constantly want to live life awashed with wonder. I want to see life through fresh new eyes. And so that's wonder for me. And then glimmers, again, I said what glimmers mean, and then I want to notice all of the glimmers in my life this year instead of focusing on the things that aren't going right. I'm going to collect glimmers. Because I tend to focus on the things that are going wrong in my life, and I want to pay more attention to the stuff that's going right. Just, it's like a mindset change, right? So this is a lovely prompt that was already in the planner. Dream big, wish list of things I want to do or experience, see this year. I wrote here, learn archery, go to Morocco, play at an open mic, trips to the beach and flower fields this summer. I want to take the trip to Lake George, or like literally any lake trip. Get back into a consistent creative practice, fall in love, continue going on solo dates, continue to explore new places in my city, and make connecting with friends a priority, either solo or as a group. So those are things that I want. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. And then this prompt is gentle permission. I would give myself this year. So permission granted to cry if I need to, speak, especially make my voice heard, and be my most authentic self. Like, those are things that I want to give myself permission to do, because a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to cry. We don't give ourselves permission to be our most authentic self in every situation. And sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to speak and have our voices heard, especially when it's important for us to have our voices heard. And I'm giving myself permission to do all those things, even if it feels awkward, even if it feels inappropriate. If it's honest and true and authentic, I'm doing it. So that's that. And this quote says, what in your life is calling you when all the noise is silenced, the meetings adjourned, the lists laid aside, and the wild iris blooms by itself in the dark forest? What still pulls on your soul? I love these little prompt quotes. They're very sweet. And then I think this is the last one. Who are the people who bring out the best in you and make your heart sing? How can you nurture these connections in the new year? And then I just wrote a list of people that I love and people that I would love to connect with. And I have them each individually here. And then this says, and the time came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to blossom. Again, that's sort of like that same clenching onto things, holding onto things and releasing them. You know, you can't, this is you as a bud. Nothing will happen, no growth will happen unless you open up and you unfurl. Love that. Love her artwork too. My wish for you is that you feel the full breath of possibility, that you listen to what is calling you, that you find the sacred in the ordinary, that you always follow your truth. I love using these planner pages because it's like, it's really simple for me. Like, I feel like this journal is going to be mostly writing, but I at least have that beautiful artwork of Kelly's in here. So these are just notes. I use the note page. I put some grid because I can't really write on nothing. I can't write without a line or a grid. But these are notes that I took from the One Little Word call. And I wrote some quotes here, mostly Lucretia. I love a bunch of things that she said in the call. I have a list of books here. I have the theme for One Little Word. And yeah, so take notes. And that is it for January. I'll give a little sneak of February. February is pretty much the same, right? I'll have the calendar here, and this is actually my picture that I'm going to put there. This is my bingo card. I have to actually put it there. I have a quote here. I have my vision board. So I did a vision board and the bingo card. And then I have some other little things that I want to put there. And then I want to put this like quote that I found on Instagram. It's actually somebody's caption. I follow Rising Woman. Oh my God, I cannot pronounce this woman's name. She wrote a book that I recently read called Becoming the One, and this was the caption to one of her posts, and it speaks all about letting go and stuff like that. And so I have to finish up February, but I just wanted to come on and share what I'm doing for One Little Word and how it's coming along, and I'm kind of excited to fill up this binder with all the things for my word. So far, I am honoring my word. Thank you. A lot of times I said a word and then I don't even pay attention to it. But this one, I'm trying to honor my theme. I really think it's a practice that I need to learn this year. And so yeah, that is just a little look at January and, well, my one little word journal, but also January. I really hope you enjoy. I'm gonna try my hardest to make more of these videos. I think the next one though, I kind of want to show an overview of like all my journals that I'm using again, just kind of like an update. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all hopefully in another video. Bye, friends.